Now, let's get into a conversation that thankfully we do have time to talk about with Chrysten Abraham, who is a Libertarian and no doubt rather happy this evening, and none other than Graham Lloyd, who's the Associate Editor from the Australian newspaper. We will find out his position right now. So, we've all heard, and I wanted to make sure that everyone heard all of that because I didn't want us to be accused or anyone else of cutting things off and part of the deep state and all of that other stuff that's going to go around. But Graham, something that I have found fascinating, just thinking about it in the past couple of days, and I'm not going to have the good guy, bad guy conversation, everyone else can have that. Let's compare the circumstances of, say, 2010 to now, when the distrust of institutions is something that has grown, and I would suggest at times it's grown because of the behaviour of those institutions, which has seen a person like Assange go from his original self-casting as an anarchist, all the way through to what we're seeing now, where the Prime Minister is holding a press conference owning his return. That is one hell of a change in national and international mood that I think is really a big part of this story.
That's right. Good evening, Paul. Well, there has been a complete breakdown in trust, if you like, in the institutions, particularly in parts of America, to a lesser extent probably here. There's also been a huge rise in the ability and capacity of the online world. Julian Assange is presenting himself as a journalist. That's debatable. Certainly he was a publisher. He was publishing without vetting material, and he was able to do that because the internet would allow him to dump huge volumes of material. As the internet has risen, we've seen people can sort of choose their narrative, if you like, and that's all part of a big groundswell that Julian Assange was probably right at the foundation of.
Yeah, and again, Chrysten, just looking at what I think is the bigger tectonic shift in and around all of this is, again, the centering of the internet as an information distribution system, as opposed to where we were in 2006, 2010, where very obviously now there are people who are heard on podcasts and seen online who have much bigger following than television stars of the United States. Now, obviously, there's that first dump of information. Then there's the second version of it, which, of course, did bring in other media organisations to start to filter through, to now a place where people wouldn't trust anything but. There are some people that would not trust anything but an outside source for news. What do you think?
Yeah. Look, I think Julian Assange has been the biggest campaigner for free speech that I have seen in my lifetime. He's been facing this for nearly half, 3/4 of my lifetime. We went to the Libertarian Party went to the 2022 election with a free speech policy, which also outlined that to bring our boy home, bring Julian Assange home. And I am honoured to be sitting in the Sky News studio today to watch that piece of history of bringing Julian Assange home. The thing about free speech is to ensure that we all continue to have it, you also have to protect the free speech of the people that you don't agree with, the people that are talking rubbish. It is a protection for all of us, and it is unwavering, that we all have to fight for. So Julian Assange, I do believe, is a journalist. He continued the pursuit of the truth in the public interest. And what other way would you define journalism at?